Welcome to today's video, everybody. Merry Vlogmas. We're in the car with Will. His fully sick car. Hello, Burger King foot lettuce. Do you even know that mean?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
What is
Anyways,
that?
I don't know how to describe it. PewDiePie guys will. Anyways, that aside, today we're going to do a whole bunch of work on the S13. We got some parts from Jimmy Oaks to put on, diff and things like that, make it more drift ready. My goal is to try and have that car driftable for the LZ open house and use that car. But the more and more I keep trying to find parts for everything I need to set that thing up with angle and stuff like that, I don't know if we're gonna make it. So I don't wanna like say in the videos that that's 100% the car we're using for the open house, because I know that whenever you rush something, things go wrong, and I hate doing that. I'm not about that, if you guys know. So I do have a plan B car already organized and stuff. So worst case scenario is if the car won't be ready, we will be using that. But I'm just gonna say right now, most likely it's not gonna be ready. So we're still gonna make it a drift car. We're still gonna make some events here at E-Town and stuff with it and have a bit of fun. But it is by no means gonna be competitive. So we're just gonna have fun, you know? Do stuff like that. Enough talking. We're gonna go to the deli. We're gonna get some stuff. I'm a big deli guy. Did you know that? Like, I love myself a good deli sandwich. So Connecticut just seems right for me, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I should just pack up and move here.
This isn't the best deli.
Oh, I'm sure there's better delis around, but yeah. I mean, this is just a deli that's 5 minutes down the road, so we're gonna do that.
Complain.
No, can't complain at all. And I'm just spending some time bonding with my son. If you guys didn't know, Will's actually my child. Biological. Midway Market and Deli. Why do they call it Midway? Is it because it's like midway between a city and here or something?
I don't know.
Like Midway? No?
I mean, it is kind of midway between here and the town of New Milford.
Okay.
So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, do you ever think about that stuff, or is it just not on your radar? No?
I mean, no.
No? Okay. All right, let's go eat. Back from lunch. The Italian sub was fire, but we got the S13 jacked up. Let me show you what we're dealing with here. So, good news is we actually have a really nice upgraded diff in here. We got the extended baffle. It's actually an ABS diff. So we got the ABS sensor here. We've also got a drive shaft, like pro shop or whatever, custom drive shaft with the drive shaft loop over there. Might be hard to see, it's a bit dark on here, but we also have 5-bolt axles, which is an upgrade. It's like a Z32 Skyline upgrade. Unfortunately, that means that we cannot use this diff we got from Jimmy. So I just assumed like we were gonna have S13 drivetrain stuff under here, which is non-ABS. We don't have the bushes here on this diff, like the S14 and 15 ones or the Skyline ones. Yeah, so while it's the same as the 4-bolt, this is different. This is a much shorter diff. It's not gonna work with the custom drive shaft that we have in there. And the OS Geiken LSD center in this, I need to check and see if the axles are the same as the ones in the 5-bolt one there. If it's the same, then I can just swap the internals out of this into that casing and we should be okay. If not, then I got to spend a bunch of money with Tommy and buy an OS Geiken diff that he has in the box that will work with those axles. So kind of a little screwed, but there's a chance that if these axles are the same, like the internal part of the axle, like normally there'll be one longer and shorter, so we just need to work out if that's the case. If it is, we're lucky and we're good. If not, then yeah, it's about to be real expensive. Anyways, we'll figure it out. Been pretty busy under here. We got the exhaust off. Already got all the axle bolts out on this side, but this side is kind of a disaster. Every single axle bolt on this axle is completely hand tight and loose. All of these have come off. And then there's random home center bolts and nuts on this side too. So I'm really glad we're getting under here, even if I can't do anything. Like this one I haven't touched yet. Look at this. I bet you it's loose. Yeah, all loose. That's ridiculous. So dangerous. So I'm really glad I'm under here messing around with the diff, because there's a good chance that these would have all come loose at a drift event and I would have had a very, very bad time and done a lot of damage under here. It's never fun when stuff like that goes loose. But yeah. I'm gonna just keep going through this. We'll get the diff out in the next clip. Definitely need to order some new OEM bolts. You cannot use home-centered generic bolts. They're good for a quick fix, but they are very different from the Nissan ones. So have a look here, and you can see that the bolt doesn't actually have threads until this section here, and that's because this is kind of like a press fit here, and this goes in and takes up all the space in there to stop any movement, as in these are too small, and it creates a bunch of space in between the axle and the axle stub where it can move around and whatnot and cause a bunch of chatter and eventually work itself loose. So yeah, never just use normal like I guess, hardware store bolts like this and this kind of hardware. It's junk, it's brittle, it's not high tensile steel, and it's not smart on anything that's rotating a rotational mass in a car. It's just stupid. So anyways, I'm gonna finish this, and then I guess next clip we'll have the diff out. All right, we got the diff out, lads. Actually came out really, really easy because whoever put this in just didn't tighten anything. Like even the bolts, the 4 bolts on the back of the diff were all hand tight. So that thing was just moving around in there. And I don't know if this like the previous person just loved hardware store hardware, but they literally went to Lowe's and just bought a bunch of nuts and bolts, shaved them down to make them fit in certain places. It's pretty bad. Like look at these home center diff bolts here as well. Like, I don't know, man. Anyways, yeah, time to work out stub axle things. So I've already pulled out the ones from here, and we can see that these are same length, both sides, so we should be okay. Oh, these actually are a little bit different now that I look at them. Yeah, they are. Huh. Okay, hopefully when we pull these out, they match up. We'll see. So if you watched yesterday's video, you know that yesterday didn't go according to plan, and unfortunately today, same crappy luck has happened. So let me show you what's going on. And this has been rattling my brain. This is so frustrating. Diff from my car is an ABS. So all of my rear end seems to have been changed to like Z32 5-bolt axles, which is a nice upgrade. They're stronger, but it's just making our life really, really difficult when it comes to putting this diff in, or really any other diff, because the axles are entirely different. The 5-bolt ones won't just go into this because this diff center is meant for, I guess, a non-LSD center, like an open one. And then because this is the LSD center, you've got one long, one short, as in this has like 2 the same length that go in. The other issue is we could just switch it over, but we got non-ABS diff and an ABS diff. So this one's longer.
I have an ABS diff. I have this with a 408. So the issue was this was a 390?
Yeah.
And this is a 408?
Yeah.
So I have these mixed into one. So this diff would go into mine without changing the pinion.
Yeah, that's right.
And then my diff would go into your car because it's an ABS diff.
Yeah.
You'd put that cover, this diff, on my diff. And what do I get? The non-ABS housing. Mm-hmm. Jimmy gets this one. Mm-hmm. And the world is good.
Yeah, and then I don't have to change drive shafts.
Then you don't have to change drive shafts or pinions, which you'd have to change if you put this in there.
Okay, but are you okay with that?
Yeah, because I'd get a non-ABS diff, and my new car that no one knows about is a non-ABS.
All right, well then we're good.
So I would get, basically you would get what you need out of my diff, I would get what I need out of your diff, Jimmy would get everything he needs ish, except he'd be left with a 390 LSD.
Well, we might need to just buy him another one.
Well, what would he care about this?
I don't know.
Why would he not want that?
I don't know.
I mean,
worst case scenario, I just got to give Jimmy money for the whole diff instead of giving him something.
Exactly.
It's not the worst case scenario, so.
And I have another 408 ring and pinion from Rudnick's diff that we just took apart.
True.
Because I gave him the 490.
You're right.
So we have a lot of shit. Like, now that I think about it, we have everything you need. You don't need to buy a drive shaft.
Okay, I don't need a drive shaft then if I...
So we swap this into mine. Mine into this. I take this. This, you just put the housing, the case from this onto this. Give that back to Jimmy if he wants it. That goes on mine. Mine goes on that, and everyone's happy.
Okay, so maybe we just came up with a solution.
That's the move.
That's the move?
That's the move. That's the only move.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's all we got.
And we can do it tonight instead of waiting for a drive shaft, which probably wouldn't come till Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we still need to wait for axles, but we're good.
Sure.
Tomorrow morning, axles.
So wait, what's the problem with using my 6-bolt axles?
You have 6-bolt axles?
Hundreds. I have 3 S15s.
Why did no one tell me you had those?
I thought I did. Oh, no, we can't because they're wider. That's what we did decide.
Are they really wider?
They're 10 millimeters longer each. Because the subframe is 10 millimeters wider. Like the whole, like the wheel.
I've honestly never heard that.
Dude, well, all right, I'll tell you why I know. I'm the subframe king, for one. And 2, if you take a 14 subframe and put it into a 32 to delete the Hikes the OEM way, it makes the car 10 millimeters wider on each side.
Really?
And it does the same thing to S13s.
Okay.
S13 same as R32, 33 same as 14, and so on.
All right, so we might So we still need axles then for S13. S13 axles. Okay.
S13 6-bolt.
God, this is so annoying and confusing.
It's confusing. So,
All right, so Tommy saved the day. He has an ABS 408 diff, which is going to make my life so much easier. I don't have to buy a new drive shaft, and I can pretty much just disconnect these two, like these 4 bolts here. I should be able to pull that out, slide that in here, and then I'll have everything the same except just axles I need.
so you should probably explain what the ABS difference is.
We already did, so it just means like the diff's longer. It's a longer nose, longer.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this had no ABS, so it was shorter, so you would have had to change the ring and pinion because that's a 390.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
We're good. We're good now. So we're gonna just exchange these over. I still need to get new axles, and that's that. So tomorrow morning we'll be doing the axles and getting the car running. But for now, I need to finish building this diff. So we'll get that done. It should be fun. Well, things went from, I think we have a solution, to we don't have a solution, to maybe we do have a solution, to we absolutely have no solution. It is so frustrating. As a content creator, it's really hard to show these frustrating times like this. And obviously, like, you know, with daily content and things like that as well, like you want to always try to have like banger videos. And it is very hard to do that, especially when you're dealing with stuff like this. And boy, so yeah, I'm just trying to be real and honest with you guys. Like, this is so stressful. It's making me panic. Like, I wish to God that this thing was set up and perfect for me to just kind of go to the LZ event, rock up, slay, and then be done with it. But it's far from it. And the more and more I keep looking on it, the more and more work that it needs. But let me just run you through everything that's preventing us with this whole diff issue. So I went and put the crown and diff center out of the diff that Jimmy gave us into the ABS diff that Tommy gave us, which was the same ratio. But unfortunately, the crown wheels are different. I don't understand how or why, but I checked the numbers on them and they don't match. And whenever I would tighten down everything in there, the whole diff would seize and not move whatsoever. So that is when I was like, okay, we can swap the crown wheel. But then I went to do that, and the bolts are entirely different.
Different size.
Different size. Big fat boys. So
Last ditch effort is to swap the pinion.
yeah.
That's all you can do. But that's weird. So, are you sure you were meshing them?
Mm-hmm. Kept everything identical.
But they both have 1249 or whatever?
4912, which is a 308. But the difference is the number after it is like, there's another number after it, which I think is like, you know, how fine the meshing is or something of the two pinions and stuff going together.
So they are a different tooth count? Yeah.
I don't think they're a different tooth count. I don't know. It's hard, but I think there's definitely a difference between the pinions and the crown wheels for the ABS and non-ABS.
Is that what you think it is?
That's what I think it is, yeah.
Well, there definitely is because there's a different bolt size.
Definitely, yeah. That's the biggest giveaway.
So the Nismo sells a conversion bolt for this exact reason. And they have, I just found this out 2 days ago, and they have a bigger like shoulder, but everything else is the same. It's like an 11 mil versus a 12 mil or something like that. And I thought it was only helical that had that. But there's also, you gotta realize there's a chance this isn't S15. So that's the difference.
Yeah. So I'm stuffed.
So all you have to swap the pinion.
Yeah. The pinion would be the only move. But the thing is we can't swap the pinion because this is an ABS diff and that's a non-ABS diff.
You can't put an ABS pinion in?
No, I don't think so. Can you?
Well, then you could take...
It's just so much work for just trying to get an LSD in there. And like this is exactly why everyone just welds their diff up. But
Okay, now wait. Last thing. Open up Rudnick's non-ABS. Well, that should be the same. No.
it'll be the same.
Yeah, it should be the same thing.
Same problem. So yeah, at this point, I'm kind of just thinking maybe I should just buy a brand new diff from OS Geiken or something, or
There's
Kaz.
nothing in stock.
There's nothing in stock.
I got that one by accident, and that was the only thing that was in stock. Now, you could use that in Rudnick's diff, but you need to get,
A tail shaft, a drive shaft.
because it's not ABS.
Yeah. So I'm still like, I'm stuck in the
We
same
get a drive shaft
situation.
by Friday.
Yeah. But we're still stuck in the same situation. If I'm getting a drive shaft, I might as well just run the
put that
non-ABS diff. Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing. Yeah, you just put that back together and get a drive shaft.
Yeah.
But at least you figured this out, because if this worked, you'd be good. It didn't work. Now you just tomorrow, you put it all back together. Tomorrow you buy the drive shaft that gets here Friday.
Yeah. It just sucks because we did all this work and we have nothing to show for it really. Not today anyways.
You have data,
Yeah.
and you'll never let this happen again.
No.
So that's what you have. So there's a learning experience. It's good. Now you know so much more about diffs than you did 3 hours ago. You really do.
No, I really do.
You figured out the bolt difference. You figured out the ABS versus non-ABS. You figured out like the stub shafts. You figured out everything.
Yeah, it's totally something I take for granted, like having Okachan around because he knows his stuff in a
And he
heartbeat.
has
Yeah.
probably 10 of these.
Oh yeah, and he has every combination, so it's like so much easier. And then here in the US, no one has anything.
Like I said to Jimmy, it's a rare day when I don't have what somebody
Yeah.
needs with Nissan shit.
So
Wait
frustrating.
a second. That's a 13 diff.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, so like it's just one big cluster F, to be honest. Like this is so frustrating. Anyways, I need to just chill for a bit, maybe eat some food, have a coffee, and then I'll get back into this and finish it up. But
Fun. Different differentials.
diff. So there you guys go. This is probably the most realist vlog out there, to be honest. Everything, absolutely everything I tried to do today went wrong. I am really upset about it, to be honest. And that's that. I guess now kind of comes the part where you guys can help me. If anyone has a ABS diff or the 5-bolt axles or anything that you can think of that will actually help me in this scenario, please DM me. I only have till like tomorrow morning where I have to order that drive shaft and stuff to be able to make this work. The ideal, like the best solution is that I can get like a Nismo, Cusco, Kaz, or OS Geiken LSD center that will work with my diff, which is a viscous LSD. So it needs to be able to take the 5-bolt, one long axle, one short axle. If anyone has one and you're in the area and you don't mind dropping it off to me, or even if you're out of this state or whatever, if you can overnight ship it to me, like I'll happily pay for it. But yeah, just hit me up in the DMs on Instagram, SAMMIT01. Hopefully we can get something sorted out. But yeah, this kind of just solidifies that I'm just not gonna have this car ready for competing indefinitely. So we'll have to work something out. I'm probably gonna end up driving a Z or something at Elsley's event. But yeah, man, so bummed. But I know we'll be able to make this somehow turn around into a good situation. I think it will. And yeah, I mean, like uploading this kind of stuff, it's just real, it's raw. And I think at the end of the day, you guys kind of want to see that. And it just shows that every day isn't always sunshine, happiness, and everything goes great. So I'm trying to focus on that. I know we're going to get this sorted eventually, whether it's just going to be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, but yeah, we'll have it resolved. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm really trying hard. But anyways, guys, smash that like button, write us a comment, and subscribe. I'm sorry today's video is not going to be an epic banger, but yeah, just shows you what life is about sometimes. So catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Ciao mata.